Hi, I'm Rick Howard. In my job, I get to travel a lot. At least that's what I say at the beginning of our weekly videos. My favorite time of year is Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival. This year, Food and Wine Festival runs from September 27th through November 11th. And for the whole month of October, we'll be bringing you a new video each day from one of the festival marketplaces around World Showcase. As our guests, we'll have wine experts, chefs, and great friends, because there's no better way to enjoy Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival than with food, wine, and great friends. Welcome to Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival on Travel with Rick. Well, hey guys, welcome back to another of our 31 days of Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival here on Travel with Rick. Got my good friends Bob and Mary back. Hey guys.
How are you doing, Rick?
Doing awesome, man. How about you?
We're doing great. We're at Epcot's Food and Wine Festival.
We are at Epcot's Food and Wine Festival, and you're right, it couldn't be better. Bob and Mary from Atlanta. You may know Bob and Mary from a couple of our planning episodes a while back. Not so far back, actually. Our September planning episodes, you guys were part of those.
Yes,
it was
thank
awesome
you very
to
much.
have you there. Bob runs a website called allinwdw.com. He rates food from Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. He's also a guest blogger over at kingdommagic.com, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, provides some great content. Provided an article actually called, what was it?
Singapore is so misunderstood.
Yeah. An article of questionable content, I would have to say, but absolutely an article we published, so I guess we aligned ourselves with that content, questionable or not, eh?
Yeah, we did. In fact, on one of those preview episodes, you and I made a little bit of a wager. I told you that by the time this festival's over, you're going to agree with me that Singapore is better than Scotland.
Okay, so we had a conversation. I'm going to go along with that. Now we're calling it a wager, eh? So I thought it was an agreement. I thought it was a challenge, maybe, but we've actually wagered something on this. There is actually some kind of physical exchange going to happen at the end of this wager.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't agree with me, I'll drink a Singapore Sling. If you do agree with me, you have to drink the Singapore Sling.
Dude, can I invite friends to help if I lose?
John will help.
All right, so I am so confident, and the challenge, as I remember it, stepped up to a wager here today. The challenge, as I remember it, was that you told me by the end of this festival, November 11th, that I would say that Singapore was better than Scotland. I think that was the challenge, was that I would come out saying Scotland, one of the look forward to marketplaces here. We're all looking forward to Scotland. Look forward to you seeing it. It's going to be over there in a few days. Got my good friend Sarah McGovern-Luca going to come out and going to be doing Scotland with us. And we're going to be checking out the offerings over there. And you're saying by the end of the festival, you challenged that I would tell you that Singapore was better. So now we're saying if I can't tell you that, then I have to drink a Singapore Sling. Or if I can tell you that,
You have to drink the Singapore Sling.
yeah, that's it. Okay, all right.
You gotta be honest about
I'll do that. So if you'll notice, guys, we are in Singapore today. I know we're taking a long time to get where we are, but we are in Singapore, and we're trying some of the offerings. And I'll agree with Bob. Singapore is a little misunderstood. I don't want to say we gave them a bad rap last year. We gave them a hard time last year because, hey, I think they brought it on themselves. I mean, last year, let's face it, the mahi was a little dry. The beef ring dang was full of flavor that wasn't great flavor. And the Singapore Sling was just downright bad.
We tried one the other day, my wife and I have to agree with you. It tastes like cough syrup.
Yeah, it was just horrible. So actually, Bob, you want to throw in the plug here. How do we do this here at Travel with Rick?
As far as the rating system?
Well, no, as far as how do we do this? How does Travel with Rick happen?
Okay, well that's the important stuff. Kingdom Magic Vacations, a generous grant to the Travel with Rick video.
And where I'm going with that is, yeah, this show is brought to you by a generous grant from my company, Kingdom Magic Vacations. We joke about it all festival long, but as part of that generous grant, we decided to save our $8 this year and not do the Singapore Sling.
We couldn't do it to you, Leslie.
Because why? The wine was $2.50. They have a great Marquis de Cesare, hang on, bear with me, Santinella white wine that we're having that was $2.50. So we thought 2 glasses of wine, $5 versus 1 Singapore Sling. We're just trying to be good stewards of our funds here on Travel with Rick, and that thing's bad. You guys tried one yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
Definitely bad.
It was bad.
Definitely
So-
cough syrup, bad cough syrup.
Yeah, so no, we weren't doing that. But what we did step up for was a couple of glasses of the Centinela, as I mentioned, and we have the mahi-mahi, which is, I'm hoping, not the same mahi as last year. It's a seared mahi-mahi with jasmine rice and singa sauce, which kind of smells a lot like a soy sauce. We'll see exactly what it is. Got some green flakes in there. Not really sure what that is happening. But then we also have a lemongrass chicken curry with coconut and, you guessed it, jasmine rice. So a lot of diversity here in Singapore's food.
Now, the lemongrass chicken curry is their version of stepping it up this year. The beef rendang is gone.
Yeah.
And this is their new item. The mahi-mahi is a repeat from last year.
Right. So let's talk a bit about that Singapore sling. Developed sometime before 1915. I did a little research on this. Developed a little bit before 1915 at the Long Bar and Raffles Hotel in Singapore by a bartender of, let's just say, questionable taste.
Did they like the Singapore sling in Singapore, Rick?
Well, you know, I'm a big fan of No Reservations with Tony Bourdain, and he did a show in Singapore, and he said even the locals don't drink Singapore slings. So if it's your drink of choice, if it's the thing your country is known for, and even the locals don't dig it, I gotta wonder, you know? I really do.
I would agree with you.
right.
There was not much there to dig.
Okay, well, let's check out this food. I'm going to go ahead. Mahi-mahi, for me, that's a wonderful fish. Just love it. So, I tell you, right off the bat, I'm going to say it's looking more moist than last year. So,
There's definitely more sauce on this portion than on the portion I had last year. Last year, I agree with Rick, it was a little on the dry side, but it was because there wasn't much of the singa sauce.
dude, I got to tell you, man,
It's pretty good, isn't it?
that's good. That's really good.
I think the sauce makes it, and like I said, last year there wasn't a lot of it, at least on the portion that we got.
Yeah. The fish is flaky, as mahi should be. It's not overcooked. It's not dry. It's moist. And then, as Bob said, that sauce kind of adds just another element to it, just another level of taste. I love this.
Mine is delicious.
So,
Now I'm gonna bet you're gonna like it better than Scotland salmon.
you're going to bet.
We did that already.
Oh, you're going to bet a Singapore sling on it. All right, so what we didn't just determine is I have to drink one, you have to drink one, depending on who wins or loses. Who buys? Loser buys, right?
Yeah, sure.
Fair enough. Okay, I can go along with that. I can go along with that.
That's
I'm loving that.
That's a winner.
I'm loving that. That's good. That's good. All right, I'm going to try a little bit of this with it.
Chicken, it's really big pieces.
That's a nice white wine, too. All right, so now I'm kind of thinking that we saved $8 and made a mistake
that's
here.
really good.
Because if we'd have got the Singapore sling, I'd have had something to be upset about. Because so far, I've got to say we've got two winners. I'm liking that, and I'm loving that.
And we've mentioned before, we're not real big fans of white wine, and that's a very good white wine.
All right, so the chicken, that's just where they lost me.
But are there flavors you don't like in it?
It's not that there's flavors that I don't like in it so much as there's just not flavors in it. There's coconut, okay? It's coconut jasmine rice, but, you know, it's just not bringing it. You know, it's bringing coconut. There's a little bit of heat, so you can definitely
Could be
pick up
jazzed
the
up
curry.
a little bit more. I
Yeah,
think.
you can pick up the curry in it because there is a little bit of heat on the back end on it. So I'm feeling that a little bit.
I think the coconut really is overpowering any spice they put in it.
I think that's what's happening.
I would think that they would
right.
spice it up a little bit.
And then that's a great wine, but with that, that's a horrible wine. So that tells you what happens with wine right there. See, wine should complement Wine should complement food. This wine, or this food, complicates this wine. This food, that coconut, that curry, actually so much overpowered. And I'm sure that they didn't pair that wine with it. I didn't see what the pairing was up there. Did you notice what they don't tell us in our book?
Maybe they didn't do a pairing.
So we'll have to fly that. We'll have to fly that in for you. What actually is the culinary pairing here? What they did choose for that? I'm guessing they did. That wine actually goes very good with that mahi. but that
Now,
curry so overpowers that wine. You might as well be water.
Compared to the beef rendang, would you like this more than that? Would you say Singapore at least stepped it up?
Well, see, this I'm neutral about. The beef rendang, I was adamantly not neutral about that dish. That dish was horrible.
Okay, so it's at least stepped up.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it definitely surpasses the beef rendang, but it's just so-so. You know, I mean, it's an okay dish. I don't hate it, but that mahi, that's a winner.
That's flavor.
That's a winner.
Yeah,
I like
That's
that.
definitely more bland.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is just, to me, this is just a crock pot chicken.
Right,
You know, I mean,
right.
it's just an overcooked.
Right.
I mean, you said it when you first saw it, when it was sitting here, you weren't even sure it was chicken.
No, it wasn't.
It
I
could
thought
have just
was some
been
kind of chicken liver.
today's mystery meat, you know. So it's just it's a dark meat, kind of overcooked, you know, with some sauce, you know. And the guy said when he handed it to us, not to worry, here's your curry. You know, I'm not so sure about
That was a
that
little
one,
little
you know.
corny, but interestingly enough, we stopped by a few days ago and we talked to one of the fellas at the booth, and I asked him which dish was going quickest, and he said it was actually the lemongrass chicken curry, not the fish. It's a surprise that this is the much better dish.
Well, sure. When you think about it, I mean, I think chicken is probably more popular with people than a mahi-mahi. A lot of people don't even know what a mahi-mahi is. So it sounds good in definition or in explanation. You know, a lemongrass chicken curry sounds like it should be good. You'd want it to be good. You'd be cheering for it to be good. But
A little bit of a disappointment. I actually, when I did write the article for Kingdom Magic Vacations blog, I had recommended, it was sort of an Imagineering of Singapore post, that they serve butter chicken. As popular as it is at Sinai over in Kadani Village, I thought it would make a nice inclusion in the festival. I think that would have went over much better here than the lemongrass chicken curry is. And the mahi-mahi, I liked it last year. I liked it again this year.
right. So we might want to also say that the first wines, this Marqués de Serres winery, was founded in 1970 by Henry Corner, who later fled to France. I don't know why. It was just one of those pieces of information you find out there on the internet. The first wines were released from Singapore in 1975. This is actually a very nice white wine.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really,
It is.
It's an easy drinking wine. It's kind of like Singapore, folks. Not a huge amount of flavor, but just nice, right? Just nice. I know. I'm rough on Singapore.
You are rough on Singapore.
Listen,
They're gonna hide when you come by next time.
they do already. Okay, and so we kind of commented early days of the festival. The lines were longer. They're dwindling already as we speak.
Oh,
We actually yesterday heard them chanting Singapore, kind of like doing cheers.
Well, they've got to encourage themselves. They do,
We absolutely heard them.
They actually have, they battle esteem there,
Right.
already
Right.
because
That's
of, shows like
folks,
ours.
I'm
and others.
I'm undermanned here. You gotta help me out.
So,
Go to Singapore, have the food.
Even David said in the Bible, you've got to encourage yourself in the Lord.
Tell Rick in the show notes. Tell him that Singapore is so misunderstood.
So that's what folks do at Singapore. They just try to encourage themselves in Singapore. They kind of have to. But anyway, this is a nice wine. This is a good drinking wine. I have enjoyed this. I'm so glad we chose 2 glasses of that over a Singapore Sling based on
That
your
was a wise
conversation.
decision.
So that was really good. Anything else we can share with you about Singapore? They do also offer a Tiger beer at Singapore for beer lovers. Asian Pacific breweries are famous for their Tiger beer. As a Malayan brewery, limited in 1931. It was a joint venture between Heineken, imagine that, Heineken International, and another company called Fraser & Neave, and given its present name in 1990. So I know a lot of people enjoy those
Heineken likes Singapore.
Asian beer. Heineken is doing business in Singapore. They have to like Singapore, okay? I mean, just like we have to go there because it's a country in the promenade during the Food and Wine Festival. We do it out of obligation. We don't do it out of love.
Well, Singapore is a marketplace that's made for the Food and Wine Festival, and part of Singaporean culture, they have these facilities called hawker centers, which are very much like what we would appreciate as a food and wine booth, people selling food from a booth window. It fits with the entire motif. If you read a little bit about Singapore, what you'll come to understand is it's got to be at the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. It just has to be.
No, France has to be at the Epcot International Food Festival. Italy has to be.
That's because the Eiffel Tower is here.
Food and Wine Festival. Hawaii needs to be here. Doesn't have to be here. Singapore, dude. I mean,
you just said they stepped it up.
They did. I mean, they had such a step to go already. We're just still going to have to, we'll know. It'll all shake out by the end of the month.
Greatness is built one step at a time.
I'll give them that. They did not decrease. But, I mean, when you're at rock bottom, you've got very little way to fall. So, how much further could they slide? Really, the only step for them was up.
At least they're ahead of Scotland.
Because we haven't been there yet.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, here's my logic, okay? Seared mahi-mahi is going to be better than the salmon in Scotland.
Okay.
And as neutral as you feel about this lemongrass chicken curry, you're going to like it more than the vegetarian haggis. And you're going to come back to me and say, Bob, you're right. Singapore was better than Scotland.
Okay, so the salmon may or may not, because I love salmon. So the mahi, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to give it to you probably right now on the cusp for the haggis versus the chicken, just because haggis sounds gross to me. So it's going to come down to, we passed on the Singapore sling altogether, so it's going to come down to how does this wine stack up against the Scotch wine. That's
but
what
you've already told me you don't like Scotch.
I said I'm not a Scotch drinker, but we'll just have to see how the Scotch stacks up. And I do have a Scotch drinker on the show, so we'll just have to see.
I didn't make the bet with her.
Yeah, well, that's true, but she is on the show, so all ratings will prevail. So we'll see how that goes. But listen, we've had a lot of fun kind of picking at Singapore and talking about Singapore. A lot of fun having you guys here.
Thanks very much.
Fun having you guys here.
It's a wonderful experience.
It is a great experience. I tell you guys, you've got to get here for this Food and Wine Festival. It's going on to November 11th. There's a lot of great booths, 29 total. Check out our website. You're already on something. Whether you're seeing us on YouTube or whether you're seeing us on iTunes, go over to our blog at travelwithrick.com. We have a listing of all the marketplaces represented there. You can follow us around on a map, see how we're doing, where we're going, what we're tasting, and who we're doing it with. And you'll see, if you're watching today, you'll see where we're going tomorrow. It's awesome. We're going to be bringing you shows just like this all month long, the whole month of October, October 1 through 31. Our goal is to cover every booth and hit some of those awesome concerts at the Epcot Eat to the Beat concert series just for you. There's great bands like Gin Blossoms, Sister Hazel, Night Ranger,
Starship.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Starship, starring Mickey Thomas. They're going to be there. It's just going to be awesome all month long, all the way up to November 11th, and of course, we'll be right back here tomorrow with another one of our episodes. Yes, we almost forgot. We've got to rate this stuff.
I think you should kick it off.
All right, so I'm going to rate it. Okay, so the wine we're not doing, so we're just going to do the food. Okay, so the mahi, I love this. I actually love this dish. I thought the flavors, like I said, rice and soy, I could almost live on rice and soy. That's awesome. So that was really, really good. The fish was awesome. It was cooked good. It was cooked moist. It didn't dry out like last year, so they definitely stepped that up. I'm going to try this later in the month, though. I'm going to tell you, just to see if I can get another piece just as moist, to see how consistent they are. So I'm going to check them out on that. But I'm going to say, based on what we have here today, I'm going to give this a solid 4. I'm really happy with it. I was leaning towards 3.5, but I don't like to break things at Epcot, so we're not going to break that bottle. So I'm going to go a 4 on that, and I've got to give that a 2. I'm going to go a 2 on the chicken, just because I rated that so high. I can't let my overall rating for Singapore be higher than 6. I can't do it. So just based on that chicken just being so-so, I'm going to go with a 2.
All right, well, I'm going to agree with you as a 4 on the mahi-mahi. I do think it was an excellent dish. I liked it last year. I really like the fact
you
that
liked it last year, seriously?
Yes.
You didn't find it dry?
Again, on any given day, a portion can be different. That's why it's always a great idea that if you don't like something the first time, but you really want to give it another chance because it's something that you generally like, give it another try later in the festival. This had more sauce than last year. I really, really like that. It's a 4. The lemongrass chicken curry, I gotta be honest with you, I really meant it when I said that it should be butter chicken. I think that would have just been a phenomenal success for Singapore. That disappoints me. I'll go with the 3.
I'll go with the 3. All right, so 2 4s, a 3 and a 2 on the chicken then. So that's where we're at. And so to point out, and to Bob's point, just want you guys to know, think about this. There's 29 marketplaces out here. A lot of this food preparation, they're actually doing right inside the booth. They're doing them on hot plates, they're doing them on grills. Yes, some of it comes out pre-prepared, but most of this stuff they're cooking right there. So as Bob said, you know, maybe they're rushed, maybe they're, you know, sitting around a bit. You know, it's hard to gauge how busy, what's going on, and everything. So sometimes you might get a little bit of a bad piece, sometimes you might get a little bit of a better piece. So try it out. Try it a couple of different times if you like something particularly. Mexico is crowding us. I think it's time we sign out. Guys, thank you for watching.
Thank
we'll see
you
you
very
right
much.
back here tomorrow for another episode in our 31 days of food and wine around the World Showcase Promenade.
Come to
at
the
Epcot.
festival.
Come to the festival. See you around, guys. So long.
Bye.